All right, ready to dive deep. Today, we're cracking open How to Get Rich, the book by, well, I think we all know who, Donald Trump.
A figure who, let's face it, elicits strong reactions.
Definitely. But we're leaving the politics at the door for this deep dive. Our focus is purely on the success strategies he lays out.
It's an opportunity to analyze not just what he says, but why these ideas find an audience.
Precisely. And maybe uncover some unexpected connections between Trump's world and the broader culture.
Exactly. So let's get into it. One of the things that struck me is how Trump claims money isn't his main driver.
Yeah, he describes it more as a measuring stick, a tool to build something bigger. He talks about deal-making like it's an art form.
Interesting. It reminds me of that story where he's constantly working deals, even when already incredibly wealthy.
Right. Passion seems to be the key word here.
Psychologists would call it intrinsic motivation, that inner fire. It's about the challenge, not just the reward.
The mastery of the game itself.
Exactly. Moving on, people power. Trump's team-building philosophy is, well, unique.
He values good people, even over experience sometimes. Wants that dynamic, almost family-like environment. He even uses the term dysfunctional family at times.
Quite the analogy, isn't it? It suggests an acceptance of conflict, maybe even encouraging a free flow of ideas.
Controlled chaos, perhaps. He seems to like people who challenge him, push back.
Exactly. He thrives on that energy, believes it sparks creativity. But there's a caveat. You have to be prepared when you bring him an idea. Concise, respectful of his time.
Remember that anecdote with Jason Greenblatt trying to ask for a raise on the absolute worst day?
Oof, talk about bad timing. It highlights the need to read the room, understand the power dynamics at play.
Knowing when to be assertive and when to hold back.
Absolutely. Now, onto a core Trumpian belief. Persistence. Never giving up, no matter the obstacle.
The West Side Yards development is a prime example. A decade-long fight.
It demonstrates that tenacity, but also strategy. Knowing when to push, when to wait. And speaking of persistence, there's Norma Forderer's story.
Oh, that's a good one. She refused to take no for an answer and ended up working for Trump.
Proof that determination, combined with a bit of calculated risk, can pay off.
Shifting gears now to something Trump's arguably a master of, branding.
Building an empire around a name. He grasped the power of that early on, the Trump name becoming more than just a label.
A lifestyle, an aspiration. I can't believe he almost went with Tiffany Tower instead of Trump Tower.
That little detail is so revealing. He deliberately chose a name that embodied luxury and success.
A perfect alignment with the image he wanted to project.
And that's a crucial takeaway for anyone building a brand, a product, even themselves.
Okay, here's one that surprised me. Trump claims to actually enjoy public speaking. And he says you don't need loads of prep to connect with an audience.
Interesting. Remember that anecdote about him having no clue what he was supposed to talk about just minutes before a speech to thousands of people?
Sounds like a recipe for disaster, but somehow it worked.
He thrives on that improvisation, feeds off the energy of the crowd, but there's a method to it too.
It's that blend of humor, personal stories, creating a shared experience.
He understands how to work a crowd, even if it's built on carefully crafted illusions.
This brings us to thinking big and visualizing success. A concept Trump wholeheartedly advocates for.
He attributes much of his success to the power of positive thinking and visualization.
He even keeps a book of inspirational quotes. It's almost like a contradiction.
Right. This tough businessman embracing affirmations. But there's psychological backing to it. Visualization can prime the mind for action.
A self-fulfilling prophecy in a way.
Exactly. It's about aligning your thoughts and actions towards a specific goal.
Okay, time to dive into the art of negotiation. A territory Trump considers himself a master of.
He prioritizes persuasion over raw power, understanding the other side's needs and knowing when to fold.
That 40 Wall Street acquisition is a prime example of his tactics in action.
What's fascinating is his use of psychology. He's a master at reading people, leveraging their desires and insecurities.
It's not just about getting the best price. It's about creating a scenario where everyone feels like they won.
A delicate balance of assertiveness, empathy, and strategic maneuvering.
Now let's get real for a moment. Even Trump has had his share of missteps. He acknowledges that in learning from setbacks.
He's surprisingly candid about his failures, like that disastrous restaurant investment.
A reminder that even the most astute minds can stumble.
It emphasizes the importance of due diligence, recognizing red flags and being willing to cut your losses.
The key is to extract those valuable lessons, adapt, and move forward with greater wisdom.
Embracing failure as an integral part of the learning curve.
And last, but certainly not least, the power of observation and reading. Trump emphasizes continuous learning.
He's a voracious reader, believes in staying informed about the world.
Remember that analogy about understanding the global market being like listening to a ping pong game?
Quite an image. It highlights the need for keen observation, critical thinking skills, especially in today's information overload.
It's about filtering, analyzing, extracting those valuable insights from the noise.
Cultivating a discerning mind and the ability to connect seemingly unrelated ideas.
Well, that was quite a ride through the first part of How to Get Rich.
We've only scratched the surface. There's much more to unpack, including some of the more controversial aspects of Trump's approach. Back for more Trump wisdom, listeners. As we delve further into How to Get Rich, I'm struck by how some of his ideas, even the unconventional ones, align with ancient wisdom.
Oh, really? Like what? I'm intrigued.
Well, take his emphasis on tenacity, for instance. It's not just about being stubborn.
Oh, yeah.
It echoes the Stoic idea of resilience, facing challenges head on, seeing adversity as a virtue.
Interesting. So it's not just Trump being Trump, it's tapping into something deeper, maybe even universal.
Precisely. And that thread runs throughout the book. His negotiation tactics, while seemingly ruthless, actually resonate with broader communication principles.
Understanding human behavior, essentially.
Exactly. And those skills aren't limited to boardrooms. They apply to everyday interactions, conflict resolution, even achieving personal goals.
Give me a concrete example. Something our listeners can use in their own lives.
Well, think about his advice on understanding the other person's needs. It's not about crushing your opponent, but finding that win-win solution.
Where everyone walks away feeling like they gained something.
Precisely. And this applies just as much to personal relationships as it does to business deals.
How many arguments could be avoided if we just understood where the other person was coming from?
Right. Empathy is key. Active listening, really understanding their motivations, finding that common ground.
Simple in theory, but often so hard to do in practice.
Absolutely. It's a skill worth honing, not just for traditional success, but for stronger relationships.
For a richer life overall. What else in the book jumped out at you?
I found his frankness about setbacks and failures to be refreshing, even insightful.
You mean how he admits things haven't always been smooth sailing?
Exactly. We tend to see successful people as invincible, but even Trump, with all his bravado, acknowledges his stumbles, like that restaurant venture he lost money on.
It's a good reminder that even the sharpest business minds make mistakes.
And that it's okay to walk away when something feels off.
To cut your losses and move on. There's that saying, failure is just an opportunity to begin again, but more intelligently.
Right. And Trump embodies that. He doesn't dwell on the past, but uses those lessons to refine his approach.
Reinforces the idea that setbacks are inevitable. It's what you do with them that counts.
Absolutely. And that leads us to resilience, another key theme. Trump has faced his share of hurdles, financial downturns, public scrutiny, but he always bounces back.
He almost seems Teflon coated, like nothing sticks to him for long.
It's more than just personality, though. He consciously cultivates that mental fortitude, that ability to weather the storms.
So resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you build.
Precisely. Like a muscle. The more you face challenges, the stronger you become.
So how do we build that resilience muscle? Any practical tips?
Well, reframing your perspective is a good place to start. Seeing setbacks not as roadblocks, but as chances to learn and grow.
Shifting that internal dialogue from I can't to I will.
Exactly. And building a supportive network is crucial too. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who provide a safe space to process those challenges.
Like having your own personal cheerleading squad.
In a way, yes. People who remind you of your strengths and help you back up when you fall.
I like that. And it's important to remember, resilience isn't about denying your struggles.
Right. It's about acknowledging those emotions, feeling them fully, and then choosing to move forward.
Turning those struggles into fuel for the fire. Speaking of turning things around, let's talk about Trump's public speaking. He doesn't exactly fit the mold of a polished orator.
But that's where his natural charisma comes into play. It's a potent mix of instinct and, surprisingly, strategy.
I still can't get over that story where he didn't even know what he was going to talk about, just minutes before addressing a huge crowd.
It sounds chaotic, but he pulls it off. It's that combination of humor, personal anecdotes, that knack for creating a shared experience.
It's almost like he has this innate ability to connect with people, even on a grand scale.
It goes beyond just personality, though. He understands the power of storytelling, of tapping into those universal human experiences.
It's about finding that common ground, even if it's carefully constructed.
Exactly. And that skill, like negotiation and resilience, can be honed through practice and conscious effort.
So what are your key takeaways from Trump's approach to public speaking?
Well, authenticity shines through. For better or worse, Trump is undeniably himself. He doesn't try to be anyone else, and that resonates, even if it's sometimes abrasive.
It's about embracing your unique voice, even if it's not always polished or perfectly aligned with expectations.
Exactly. Another takeaway is the importance of emotional connection. Despite his tough exterior, Trump excels at this. He uses humor, self-deprecation, those personal stories to build rapport.
It's like he invites the audience into his world, even if it's just for a moment.
Precisely. And that connection is crucial for any speaker, whether you're addressing a boardroom or a stadium full of people.
It's not just about conveying information. It's about creating an experience.
Absolutely. Effective communication is a blend of art and science. Now let's shift gears to a concept that's often touted as a key ingredient for success: positive thinking.
Something Trump firmly believes in. He even has a book of inspirational quotes, right?
Right. It's fascinating to see this hard-nosed businessman embracing affirmations and the like, but there's a psychological basis for it.
So it's not just wishful thinking.
Not exactly. Positive thinking, when done right, is about cultivating an optimistic outlook, focusing on solutions, not dwelling on problems.
Seeing that glass half full, even when things look bleak.
Precisely. It's not about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about approaching difficulties with the belief that you can overcome them, that you have the resources and strength to find a way forward.
So it's more about a grounded sense of hope and possibility.
Exactly. And that mindset can be incredibly empowering. When you believe you can succeed, you're more likely to take risks, persevere through those setbacks, and ultimately achieve your goals.
It's like that saying, what you believe, you become.
Precisely. And that applies to every aspect of life: relationships, career aspirations, everything. A positive mindset attracts positive outcomes.
Okay, but let's be real. Not everyone is naturally optimistic. What advice does Trump offer for those who struggle with negativity?
Well, he's a big proponent of visualization, creating a mental picture of yourself achieving your goals, experiencing that success as if it's already happened.
Like making a movie in your mind, with you as the star.
Exactly. It might sound simplistic, but visualization can actually rewire your subconscious, helping you build a belief system that supports your goals.
Aligning your thoughts and emotions with those desired outcomes.
Precisely. He also suggests surrounding yourself with positive influences, seeking out mentors, role models, people who embody success.
And limiting your exposure to negativity and naysayers?
Exactly. It's about creating an environment that nurtures your growth and aspirations.
It's like building a greenhouse for your dreams.
Precisely. Cultivating a positive mindset is an ongoing process. It's not about achieving some state of permanent bliss. It's about making a conscious choice to focus on the good, to believe in yourself, and to approach challenges with optimism and determination.
Now, this reminds me of Trump's approach to branding, something he's clearly excelled at. He built a brand that's synonymous with luxury, with aspiration.
His branding is fascinating because it's so intertwined with his personality. He understood early on that the Trump name could represent a lifestyle, an aspiration, not just a building. Remember how he almost called Trump Tower Tiffany Tower?
Right. It's amazing how that one decision could have changed everything.
It speaks volumes about his strategic thinking. He wanted a name that conveyed luxury, exclusivity, success, and that holds a crucial lesson for anyone building a brand, whether it's for a product, a company, or even themselves.
It's about understanding the power of perception, right? Creating an identity that resonates with your target audience.
Exactly. It's not about crafting some fake persona. It's about presenting your authentic self in a way that connects, that makes an impact.
It's about understanding your strengths, your unique selling proposition, the values you project to the world.
It's about weaving a narrative that captures your essence and communicates it in a compelling way, a way that people remember.
And that narrative extends beyond just words. It's about your online presence, your personal interactions, making sure there's consistency between your actions and your image.
Exactly. Personal branding isn't about ego or self-promotion. It's about showcasing your best self, sharing your talents and vision with the world in a way that resonates.
It's about building an authentic, consistent, and compelling brand. But even with the best branding, everyone faces criticism. How does Trump, someone who's constantly in the public eye, deal with that?
His approach, while often dismissive or even combative, actually reveals an important principle: developing a thick skin and filtering out the noise.
I mean, he's bombarded with opinions and judgments from all sides, yet he doesn't seem to let it derail him.
And that's not about ignoring feedback or becoming impervious to criticism. It's about discerning between valuable insights and irrelevant negativity.
It's about separating the wheat from the chaff, taking what's useful and discarding the rest.
Precisely. And that requires strong self-awareness, knowing your strengths and weaknesses and trusting your own judgment.
Trusting your gut, even when others doubt you.
Exactly. And remember, criticism can actually be beneficial for growth if you approach it with an open mind and a willingness to learn.
It's not about getting defensive, but about actively listening for those insights that can refine your approach and help you achieve your goals.
And for that truly destructive criticism, the kind that's just meant to tear you down, the best response is often to simply ignore it.
Like that saying, don't wrestle with pigs. You both get dirty, but the pig enjoys it.
Precisely. Focus your energy on your goals, surround yourself with those supportive individuals, and let your accomplishments speak for themselves. Now, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about continuous learning. Trump is a voracious reader, always absorbing information. Remember that analogy about understanding the global market being like listening to a ping pong game?
Oh yeah, that was a strange one. But it does highlight the need for keen observation and critical thinking, especially in today's information-saturated world. It's not just about consuming, it's about filtering and analyzing.
Exactly. You have to cultivate that curiosity, that constant desire to learn and grow, to see things from new perspectives.
Approaching the world with a beginner's mind, always ready to learn and adapt.
Precisely. And that applies to every aspect of life, from business to personal relationships. The more you learn, the more you grow, and the more potential you unlock within yourself.
It's not about collecting degrees or accolades, it's about nurturing that lifelong love of learning.
Absolutely. And that love can manifest in so many ways. Reading, attending lectures, even engaging in thoughtful conversations with people from different backgrounds.
Embracing every opportunity to expand your horizons, your knowledge base, your understanding of the world.
And continuous learning isn't just about accumulating information. It's about applying that knowledge to your life, your work, your relationships, becoming a more thoughtful and effective individual.
Speaking of effectiveness, let's talk about a trait that's often misconstrued as arrogance. Having a strong ego. Trump certainly embodies this.
His ego, often perceived as excessive, actually reveals an important truth: the need for self-belief, for confidence in your abilities, for projecting strength and competence.
It's about believing in yourself even when others doubt you.
Exactly. And it's not about arrogance or dismissing others. It's about healthy self-worth, recognizing your value and your contributions.
It's about having that unwavering belief in your vision, even if it's unconventional or goes against the grain.
And that self-belief is incredibly empowering. It fuels risk-taking, it helps you persevere through setbacks, and ultimately it drives you towards achieving your goals. But how do we cultivate that strong ego without becoming arrogant or self-absorbed? It seems like a fine line to walk.
It is a delicate balance. Any tips?
Well, focusing on your strengths is a good starting point. Identifying those areas where you excel, where you contribute something unique.
Acknowledging your talents without letting them inflate your ego.
Exactly. And remember humility. Recognize that you're not perfect, that you have weaknesses, that you're always learning and growing.
It's about finding that balance between confidence and humility, recognizing your worth while staying open to feedback and growth.
A strong ego isn't about external validation or comparing yourself to others. It's an internal compass, a sense of self-worth that's independent of outside opinions or achievements.
It's about knowing your value, believing in your potential, and facing challenges with confidence and determination.
Now, let's dive into a topic that's crucial in today's fast-paced world: time management. Trump's schedule is notoriously packed, yet he manages to juggle a vast business empire, a media presence, and a personal life.
He almost seems to defy the limits of time. How does he do it all?
His approach, while seemingly chaotic, actually reveals a key principle: being ruthless with your priorities and delegating effectively.
Focusing on those high-impact tasks and trusting others to handle the rest.
Exactly. And that requires a clear understanding of your goals, what truly matters, and where your time is best spent.
It's about distinguishing between the urgent and the important, making conscious choices about how you allocate your time and energy.
And effective delegation isn't just about dumping tasks on others. It's about finding the right people, providing clear instructions, and empowering them to succeed.
It's about building a trusted team that shares your vision and can execute those tasks efficiently.
Time management isn't about becoming a robot or adhering to some rigid schedule. It's about finding a system that works for you, that aligns with your natural rhythms and priorities.
Speaking of alignment, let's talk about persuasion. Trump is a master at influencing others, using a combination of charm, charisma, and a deep understanding of human psychology.
His methods, while often theatrical, actually reveal a valuable truth, understanding human motivation and appealing to emotions as well as logic.
It's not just about presenting facts and figures. It's about crafting a narrative that resonates with the audience's desires and aspirations.
Precisely. And that requires a deep understanding of your audience, their needs, their fears, their values, their dreams.
It's about putting yourself in their shoes, seeing the world through their eyes, and creating a message that speaks to their hearts and minds.
Effective persuasion isn't about trickery or manipulation. It's about presenting your case authentically, appealing to both logic and emotion to create a win-win scenario.
It's about building trust, rapport, and using your influence in a positive way.
Remember, persuasion isn't about being slick or using high-pressure tactics. It's about genuine passion and commitment to your vision.
Now, while Trump is often portrayed as this solely business-focused individual, he does acknowledge the importance of a fulfilling personal life.
Despite being this relentless deal-maker, he recognizes the value of family, friends, those things that bring joy and meaning outside of work.
He talks about finding a supportive partner, spending quality time with loved ones, cultivating hobbies and interests.
His perspective on personal fulfillment, often overshadowed by his business persona, actually reveals an important truth. True success encompasses more than just material wealth or professional achievements.
It's about finding that balance, creating a life that's rich in both material and spiritual rewards.
Exactly. And that requires conscious effort, prioritizing those things that bring you happiness and fulfillment.
Recognizing that success is a journey, not just a destination, and that the quality of that journey matters.
Building a fulfilling personal life isn't about achieving some perfect balance or following a formula. It's about finding what works for you, what brings you joy and meaning.
It's about making deliberate choices about how you spend your time, your energy, your resources.
Remember, a fulfilling personal life doesn't detract from your professional goals. In fact, it can actually enhance them by providing you with strength, support, and inspiration.
It's about creating a life that's well-rounded, a life that nourishes both your ambition and your soul. But the world is constantly changing. How does Trump, someone who built his empire in a very different era, stay relevant?
His career is a testament to his adaptability. He's navigated economic shifts. He's moved from real estate to entertainment. He even ventured into politics.
Like a chameleon, blending into whatever environment he finds himself in.
It's more than just blending in, though. It's about anticipating trends, recognizing opportunities, and being willing to pivot when necessary.
Being nimble, letting go of outdated ideas, and embracing new approaches.
It requires what's called a growth mindset, the belief in your ability to learn, evolve, and thrive in unfamiliar territory.
Being comfortable with uncertainty, willing to experiment and embrace new experiences.
Adaptability isn't about abandoning your values or your integrity. It's about finding innovative ways to apply your strengths to new challenges and opportunities.
Now, Trump is also known for taking big risks, which seems almost contradictory to the careful planning and strategy we've been discussing.
His career is marked by a willingness to embrace risk. Bold bets on properties, ventures, even on himself, often defying conventional wisdom.
Like his purchase of the Commodore Hotel, which many saw as a lost cause. He transformed it into the Grand Hyatt.
His approach to risk, while seemingly reckless at times, actually highlights an important truth. Calculated risks are often crucial for achieving extraordinary success.
It's about understanding the potential downsides, mitigating them as much as possible, and then taking that leap of faith.
Exactly. It requires courage, stepping outside your comfort zone, and embracing the unknown.
Trusting your instincts, believing in your vision, and betting on yourself.
Risk-taking isn't about being impulsive or reckless. It's about careful consideration, strategic planning, and learning from both your successes and your failures. Now, this ties into another principle he emphasizes, the importance of building strong relationships.
That seems counterintuitive, coming from someone known for tough negotiations and a win-at-all-costs mentality.
Despite his lone wolf image, Trump actually stresses the need for trusted advisors, mentors, allies, people you can rely on.
He talks about treating people fairly, forming mutually beneficial partnerships, and maintaining those connections even when deals fall through.
His approach to relationships, while transactional at times, actually reveals a fundamental truth. Strong relationships are essential for a successful career and a fulfilling life.
It's about building trust, mutual respect, and creating a network of people you can rely on.
Building strong relationships takes time, effort, and genuine care. Be a good listener, be supportive, and be willing to give as much as you take.
Treat everyone with respect, even those who may not offer immediate benefits.
Strong relationships go beyond just networking or building a Rolodex. It's about genuine friendships, finding mentors who can guide you, and creating a community that enriches your life. But even with strong relationships, appearances matter. How does Trump, someone known for his carefully crafted image, view this?
He's definitely mastered the art of self-promotion and image building. He understands that perception can be just as powerful as reality.
His approach, often criticized as excessive, actually reveals a truth that's often overlooked. How you present yourself matters. A strong image can enhance your credibility and open doors to opportunities.
It's about dressing the part, projecting confidence, and creating that aura of competence and success.
It's not about being fake or putting on a facade. It's about showcasing your best self, highlighting your strengths, and making a positive first impression.
It's about recognizing that people often judge based on appearances, and that a polished image can give you a competitive edge.
Image isn't just about superficial aesthetics, though. It encompasses your demeanor, your communication style, your overall presence. It's about projecting an authentic, confident, and compelling image to the world.
Now, Trump also emphasizes a principle that's often overlooked in the pursuit of wealth: generosity and giving back.
Despite being a ruthless dealmaker, he actually values philanthropy, using his wealth and influence to make a positive impact on the world.
He's involved in various charities, supports a range of causes, and encourages others to follow suit.
His perspective on philanthropy, often overshadowed by his business persona, reveals a truth that's often forgotten. True success transcends personal gain. It's about using your resources to improve the lives of others, to make a difference, to leave a positive legacy on the world.
It's about recognizing our interconnectedness, the ripple effect of our actions, and our responsibility to contribute to our communities and to the world at large.
Generosity doesn't have to involve grand gestures or massive donations. It can be small acts of kindness, volunteering your time, mentoring someone, or simply being a positive influence in the lives of others.
Giving back isn't just a moral obligation, it's personally fulfilling, and it contributes to creating a more just and equitable world. But with all this talk of ambition and success, where does integrity fit in?
Trump, despite his reputation for aggressive dealings, actually emphasizes the importance of honesty, fairness, and ethical conduct.
That seems a bit contradictory given some of his more controversial business practices.
His perspective on integrity, while sometimes at odds with his actions, actually reveals a fundamental truth. Lasting success is built on trust, respect, and ethical behavior.
It's about doing the right thing, even when it's tough, even when it's not profitable, even when no one's watching.
Integrity goes beyond just avoiding illegal acts. It's about transparency, accountability, and upholding high ethical standards in all your dealings.
It's about building a reputation for honesty and trustworthiness, qualities that are essential for long-term success and fulfillment.
Integrity isn't just a personal virtue. It's a core value that should guide your business and your life. Create a culture of ethics, treat people with respect, and operate with transparency and accountability.
We've covered a lot of ground, unpacking Trump's principles, strategies, and approach to success. It's a complex picture, full of contradictions and valuable insights.
As we move forward, it's crucial to remember that while we can learn from his experience, we also have to be mindful of the potential pitfalls and ethical implications.
Absolutely. We need to take the good, leave the bad, and tailor these principles to our own values and goals. Join us for the final part of our deep dive as we delve into some of the more controversial aspects of Trump's approach and discuss the ethical considerations his advice raises. Welcome back for the final leg of our journey through How to Get Rich. We've explored a lot of fascinating, sometimes surprising insights from Trump, but we can't ignore the parts that raise some red flags.
Absolutely. Some of his strategies, particularly his take-no-prisoners negotiation tactics and that relentless focus on winning, well, they demand a closer look through an ethical lens.
He even suggests in the book that women should leverage their attractiveness to get ahead. It sparked a lot of debate back in the day. How do we reconcile that with building an ethical, fair career?
It's a valid concern. While Trump stresses intelligence and competence as essential, those comments about appearance, well, they can easily be interpreted as objectification.
Reducing individuals to their physical attributes, not their skills or their character.
Exactly. It raises a crucial question. Where do we draw the line between recognizing the importance of presentation and respecting each person's inherent worth?
It's a complex issue, no easy answers. But it's a conversation we need to have.
Absolutely. And it extends beyond Trump himself. It's a societal dilemma, navigating image, power, and success without compromising our values.
There's another example that stands out. Trump talks about personally guaranteeing $1 billion in debt, which, well, directly contradicts his own advice about avoiding such risks.
It worked out for him, but it was a gamble with potentially catastrophic consequences.
It highlights that gap between what he did and what he recommends. Not everyone has that same safety net, that same tolerance for risk.
Exactly. We have to be cautious about adopting such strategies blindly. Consider the potential downsides, the unintended consequences.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into how to get rich, what are the key takeaways for our listeners?
Well, it's clear success isn't one size fits all. Trump's book offers valuable insights, but it's crucial to view his advice through a critical lens.
We've identified 10 core principles that resonate throughout the book. Each one provides a unique angle on achieving success.
Starting with the foundation, passion. It's not about chasing money for its own sake. It's about finding that intrinsic motivation that drives you.
The fuel that keeps you going.
Exactly. Second, building a strong team is vital. Surround yourself with individuals who both challenge and complement your strengths.
Create a dynamic, collaborative environment.
Then there's accessibility and initiative. Encourage open communication. Empower your team to share their ideas.
Don't be afraid to listen and learn from those around you.
And of course, tenacity and persistence are essential. Never give up on your vision, even when obstacles arise.
Remember those stories of Trump's decade-long battles for development projects?
They show the power of determination. But don't forget about crafting your personal brand. Define your unique identity and communicate it effectively to the world.
Make sure your message is clear and resonates with your target audience.
Mastering the art of public speaking is another key takeaway. Connect with your audience on an emotional level through authenticity, storytelling, and engagement.
Remember, it's not just about conveying information. It's about creating an experience.
Absolutely. And then there's the power of positive thinking and visualization. Believe in yourself, in your ability to succeed. Align your actions with those desired outcomes.
Create that self-fulfilling prophecy.
Precisely. Become a skilled negotiator. Learn to understand human psychology to find those win-win solutions.
Know your worth, and don't be afraid to walk away from a bad deal.
And perhaps most importantly, embrace setbacks as opportunities for growth. Learn from your mistakes, adapt your approach, and come back stronger.
Resilience is a muscle that needs to be exercised.
Finally, cultivate a mindset of continuous learning. Stay curious, seek out new knowledge, and be willing to adapt to the ever-changing world around you.
Never stop growing.
These 10 principles, while extracted from Trump's experience, have universal application. They offer valuable insights for anyone seeking to achieve their goals, to build a fulfilling life, and to leave a positive mark on the world.
It's been a fascinating journey dissecting how to get rich. But remember, success isn't just about the destination. It's about the journey itself, the choices we make, the impact we have, and the legacy we leave behind. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this deep dive enlightening, challenging, and ultimately empowering.